box. We have a live counter and a bit rate. Going to assume that means we're live, or very soon will be. That means welcome back to the Storytime Network. Always good to get confirmation, just in case OBS decides to throw us for a loop. Doesn't seem to have done it this time. Hooray! It is, certainly for me, the 12th of December, and that of course means we are nearing the end of 2021 somehow.
Pretty fucking wild, right?
Yeah. And that, of course, means that we are continuing our coverage of the stuff that we have consumed in 2021. This week, the Paradox Art is covering manga.
Just a big heads up for those getting into the stream at the beginning. Huge ass spoiler warning for literally everything we're talking about here. We will try to do our best to be light on the big stuff, but we're still going to talk about a whole ton of spoilers.
I'm just going to enlarge that spoiler warning just so everyone can see it.
Yep.
Good, doesn't interfere with the picture. So we're not going to be going through this in any real particular order, I don't think.
We are going to be somewhat alphabetical after we get through the first set of manga, but the first set of manga we are covering will be stuff that ran and got canceled in Shonen Jump this year.
Which I have decided to quite, pissily and pedally have decided to nominate Phantom Seer as the mascot, because that shouldn't have been axed. Because that's sold like hotcakes compared to some other things.
There's a lot of stuff that really did not deserve to be axed this year in Shonen Jump. But Phantom Seer, from what I've been told, is one of the standouts.
It really should not have died. It really should not have died.
Shonen Jump can be really capricious and really dickish with that kind of thing.
I mean, the ridiculous thing is, this is, when fucking, whatchamacallit, Jujutsu Kaisen was really starting to hit its sort of peak of popularity. And this could have been the new, or maybe not the new Jujutsu Kaisen, but it was in a very similar vein to Jujutsu Kaisen. And just...
Unfortunately...
I'm just still in absolute shock that it actually died.
There are a lot of other series that were much more deserving of being axed.
Oh, trust me, I'm going to get to those. Well, at least one of them. I've made sure to put that one on the bracket, because I want to talk about just how badly it's doing. I've talked about it before, but I will do it again.
Ooh, spill the tea.
Not just yet. Alphabetically, it'll be probably a while until we get to it. But we will get to it, even if it's just me ranting for 5 minutes about how it should have died by now.
Alright, that's fair.
Other stuff that died this year, let me take a look at the list of Shonen Jump stuff. Let's see. A Gravity Boys, good riddance.
Yeah, not surprised.
Mori King, maybe shouldn't have died.
I think Candy Flurry got cancelled.
Candy Flurry got axed. That was a bit of a shame. It was a bit of a weird one, but it didn't seem too bad. Hard-Boiled Cop and Dolphin died, which I thought was a shame. And it definitely got axed. It did not, decide to pick its ending. It got axed.
ITLC got brutally axed.
ITLC got brutally and deservedly axed, as did Nine Dragons' Ball Parade. Can't blame anyone for those two, and Build King.
Build King deserved to die.
Oh, and our Blood Oath, those four probably, out of all of the axe stuff this year, those probably deserve to die the most.
Yep.
But then we come on to the two most recent axes, Hunters Guild, Red Hood, and Neru, Way of the Martial Artist.
I didn't read Neru, but Hunters Guild really hurts, because, it had so much potential, and it was really good and promising at the start. And seeing it just, get axed pretty much, before... It got axed before the first volume even hit shelves.
Yeah, that is incredibly harsh, because they're basically saying, no, we don't care how it sells. we're getting rid of it, which is unfair. And considering the fact that the story went so completely off the rails that everyone was pretty much certain that the author had been told that they were getting axed pretty fucking soon, means that they made that decision really fucking early on, unfairly early on.
Which is just really unfortunate because, like, the story had a lot of potential. I feel like a lot of people's biggest sticking point with the series was it basically going immediately into, like, training slash shonen training camp arc that introduced a lot of new characters, and it went into that fairly early.
It did introduce a lot of characters that I forgot the names of quite quickly. I will admit to that.
Yeah, and I do agree with the opinion that there maybe should have been a few hunts with just Velo and Grimm, just those two on their own.
I mean, what I will say is it is a generally accepted strategy for certainly Shonen Jump manga to introduce new characters when they're doing poorly.
Yeah.
In the hopes that one of them will get popular.
Unfortunately, that didn't seem to be the case here.
No, it did not seem to work out the way that they'd hoped.
Mm-hmm. It's just a damn shame.
Neru, I read Neru. It was a pretty typical martial arts manga. It was still pretty good. I was enjoying myself to an extent. It was one that where Red Hood accepted its axing weeks in advance and tried to give some semblance of an ending to the story. Neru held on to hope for as long as it could.
Mm-hmm. Another thing with Red Hood is that it got really, really meta. Like it delved into like some really meta stuff about stories and how they work and how they interact with their audience.
Also took a couple of shots at Shonen Jump, which probably didn't help its case, honestly.
I mean, it didn't help its case, but it does seem to be like a really neat act of defiance. Basically spitting in the face of the god that makes it.
I hope it doesn't affect the author's chances of another series.
I mean, she might go with a different publisher at this point if Shonen Jump treated her that way.
Yeah.
Like, the worst part is, like, she's a former assistant to Kohei Horikoshi, who does My Hero Academia.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, a lot of assistants to major authors tend to get their own serializations. But then again, like, it's very rare for a mangaka's first serialization to truly take off.
Yeah.
Most of the time, they don't get a ongoing serialization until their second or third try. Horikoshi didn't get it. Hero Aka is Horikoshi's third manga, and the first one to be successful. So
yeah,
I'm hoping that the author of Red Hood at least gets another chance, because they have a lot of potential as an author, and
certainly the art was always consistently good. I did enjoy the art style.
Yeah, hopefully Yuki Kawaguchi gets another shot at serialization, because she has a lot of skill and potential.
Yeah.
But as for other series in Shonen Jump that we won't be covering too in depth, but we want to mention here, Mill, go ahead and do your rant.
Oh, are we doing it now? I was going to wait until it came up on the alphabetical. Okay, give me a second. I want to get the fucking cover up, just so people know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's there. Position 717, 394. One would think after the games podcast I would have prepared more in advance, but no, I really didn't. High School Family. So this is just selling like genuine dog shit.
It was actually outsold by Red Hood, which had its first
It was
volume
outsold by Red
released
Hood in the
after
first.
it got canceled.
It was outsold by Red Hood in the first week. High School Family took over after the second week, but you got to remember that at that point Red Hood had been axed quite a bit in advance.
It was literally axed the weekend before its first volume released.
So I did a bit of research about a month, actually exactly a month ago. It's on the 12th of November. So I looked at all the series that had started since 2020 that had been axed, and then compared their approximate volume sales because whatchamacallit, Shoseki and the other one that I can't remember, Oricon I think it is, I'm fairly sure don't have exact numbers, but they're close enough. They're close enough. And out of there's 14 series that had started since 2020 that got axed. The only one I wasn't able to get a figure for was Zip Man, which apparently did so badly that it dropped out before the end of week 1 of its volume sales. Which is, that's a really bad, very few series actually managed to do that. I can't remember what was the case was, but either Zip Man was real bad, or really badly received, or it was a hell of a month for manga. Most likely the first. But out of those, 8 had figures for week 1. So I compared High School Family's week 1 figure against for the most recent volume against those, and the other 5 had week 2, and compared week 2 figures. So out of the 8 for week 1, let's see, 3 series didn't manage to outsell High School Family. Those were Guardian of the Witch, Bone Collection, and Nine Dragons' Ball Parade. So that leaves Moriking, Paradox Ghost Rider, Our Blood Oath, Candy Flurry, and Red Hood, who all outsold High School Family in week 1.
Jesus.
Week 2, literally the only series to not outsell High School Family from week 2, from the week 2 scores, was ITLC, which, as we said, was incredibly viciously axed, and for good reason. It was so badly received. So that leaves 8 Gravity Boys, Hard-Boiled Cop and Dolphin, Phantom Seer, and Build King. Build King outselling High School Family in week 2. Outselling it by quite a bit.
Build King got cancelled before chapter 20.
Build King outsold High School Family by over 2,000 copies.
Jesus.
Meanwhile, Phantom Seer, I'd like to point out that Phantom Seer in week 2, and this was not the most recent score that Phantom Seer had. I'm fairly sure it got to week 3 in its most recent volume. But by week 2, it had sold, after having been axed. This is an axed figure, by the way. People knew that it wasn't continuing when this volume came out, which was volume 4. Phantom Seer sold 21,000 copies.
Jesus.
Now I also collected some of the back in September, collected the most recent volume sales figures for the current series. High School Family, Phantom Seer quite easily outsold it. Magu-chan sold about 7,500. Phantom Seer easily outsells it. Me and Roboko, which to be fair did improve the last time I checked, but its volume 4 as of week 3 of July sold 18,000 copies. So I'm genuinely still absolutely furious that Phantom Seer got axed. Especially considering this still lives. I just don't understand how anyone can actually, justify keeping fucking High School Family around. I just don't understand it.
The editor-in-chief at Shonen Jump has a real hard-on for gag series.
and it's complete and utter bullshit.
Yep.
Not to mention, like, look, I'm not an artist. I'm terrible at art. I admittedly haven't tried that hard to get better at it because I'm still probably going to be terrible. My family's not good at artistic stuff. I always like to tell the story of my dad, who in his high school design technology classes built a trowel and a boat in a couple of classes. The trowel broke and the boat sank, which I think pretty much sums up the family history in terms of, arts and crafts sort of thing. Must admit, though, knowing, this is going into my sordid history, but back when I was pre-high schooler, because my parents both worked until 5, I had to go to an after-school club. Well, before and after-school club. And there I got told that tracing wasn't real art. So, and I'd enjoyed doing the tracing, and I was quite happy with how it had come out, but I was told it wasn't real art. Which, I now know is complete bullshit. Trace what you want. As long as you fucking draw it, you've made art. But anyway, I've gotten off topic. I haven't read this. From what I've seen of it, the art is but ugly. But ugly. Like, you can see a little bit of it from the cover, but it just really does not look nice.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's...
Meanwhile, again, I'm going to keep hopping on about Phantom Seer, but Phantom Seer's art looked really fucking good. Red Hood's art looked really fucking good. Neru's looked pretty decent, from what I can remember. I just... I don't like to call for, series to get axed because it's cruel, and the axing policy at Shonen Jump is harsh enough that I don't really need to do it, but this is the one series I will do it. This should not live. This has shown no promise. And the fact that it is alive sends my blood pressure higher and higher each day. If I have a rage-induced heart attack or aneurysm, you can bet your fucking bottom dollar this is what I'm blaming in a will. Because it will be solely this thing's fucking fault. Anyway, enough of my hate rantings. Jack, this is a series only you've currently read. 100 Girlfriends.
100 Girlfriends. Look, I'm really enjoying it. It's most chapter introduced number 17 out of 100, so yeah. It's...
If I recall correctly, this started last year, didn't it?
Started last year. It is
because we did discuss it in our manga that started and ended in 2020.
Yep, it started last year, and it is on chapter...
Chapter what?
81.
81. Respectable.
Also. Yeah, oh, I think I'm getting feedback from my mic onto your thing. Oh, it's not. Okay. But yeah, no, it's gotten really fun. So basically, it alternates a little bit between introducing the new girlfriends, having her integrate with the earlier girls, and having them having a few focus chapters on basically on some of the earlier girls, and having them either get their own solo focus or basically interact and develop with each other.
Yeah.
And or the main male character. And I honestly absolutely love how batshit insane this series has gotten. It has some, and I also really love the shout-outs throughout the series, because it shouted out basically almost every major manga property including One Piece multiple times.
Of
I
course.
love all the shoutouts. Like there is one sequence where they do a reference to Robin's Nico Robin's big scene at Ennie's lobby, and they do it. The first time they do it, I was caught off guard, but it was like, okay, that's kind of funny. And then they did it again, and I was just rolling because it worked so well. Uh, yeah, this series is funny as hell, and but the characters work really nicely in conjunction with each other. There's
Hmm.
some I like more than others naturally, but that's how it is with any ensemble story.
Do you have a
And there
favorite
is
girl
the,
yet?
of course I do. It would be the resident Kudere, AI Nano. Yes, her name is literally pronounced AI. She's great. I love her very much.
Is she an AI?
No, she is not. She is a regular person. She's just like a very stoic type who feels that emotional stuff is unnecessary.
I mean, it would
But she,
certainly make life a lot easier.
hmm but she's fun, especially when you contrast her usual cold demeanor with her interactions with some of the other girls, as well as just like her more human behaviors, like her fear of heights.
Again,
So it's really,
mood. Heights are bad. I
oh,
don't
I
like
agree.
heights.
Like on a non-existential level, the only thing that scares me more, heights are the thing that probably scare me the most, just above needles.
I don't mind needles too much. I mean, I obviously like can talk about it, or I have more evidence now considering the COVID vaccines. But I obviously didn't, or well, I looked away because I didn't want to sort of work myself up into a nervous thing. I didn't want to sort of anticipate the actual jab itself too much. But it was. It's not like I had to be held down and have it administered as I was screaming, but
Oh, my fear of needles is mild. It's just I cannot look at the needle being injected.
mm,
Yeah. No, this is a fun series. It is probably my favorite comedic harem series. Uh, Definitely of those running right now, but possibly of the ones I've read. Actually, in no small part due to the fact that it's pretty clearly it is basically an ongoing harem ending. Like there is no chance of any one of the girls getting screwed over.
yeah.
That they all win, and also like several of the girls have are clearly like some degree of bisexual
Hmm.
and have and several of them clearly are attracted to at least one or two of the other girls.
That's good.
So yeah, it's a big old polyamorous relationship that's really fun to watch.
Hmm.
But yeah, I've gushed enough about this one. Let's move on to another one that
Uh, just give me 1 second to just finish that one. Okay, moving on to we won't have too much to say about this considering it very recently came out. It's got 4 chapters. Ayashimon by
go to
Yuji
town, man.
Kaku. Have you not read this?
I have not. Not yet, anyways.
I assume it's because of the danger of axe.
Ah, yes.
Like, look, I don't blame anyone for not reading new Shonen Jump series because the the possibility that they'll get axed is so very likely that it's tough to keep getting invested in them, week after week, knowing that things are gonna die, and there's nothing I can do about it. There's like
Hmm.
literally nothing I can do about it because it's based off of Shonen Jump's editors' impressions, volume sales, Japanese volume sales, I should point out, and the little fucking surveys at the back of the actual
Yeah,
magazines.
the reader surveys.
None of which I can, influence.
Mm-hmm. They don't seem to care too much about international readership.
The fact is, the easiest one for me to influence is probably the editor's opinions, and that would probably get me arrested for sending, creepy letters saying, "Don't kill my baby." So, like, I don't blame anyone. I'm still gonna keep doing it because, I'm insane. To be fair, I think this has a decent enough chance of surviving. It's a supernatural battle manga.
Those tend to do well.
Yeah, it tends to do well, and usually Kaku is pretty experienced. He or they, I'm not 100% sure, but they have done. Great, they don't actually have a Wikipedia entry. They've done Hell's Paradise, Jigo Kuraku, which, if I recall correctly, it got 13 volumes, so it can't have done that badly.
Mm-hmm.
And if I recall correctly, Fuzzy really enjoyed it. So.
Oh, that's fun. Fuzzy rarely talks about stuff he really enjoys.
I do remember that he made sure to mention it multiple times, asking us to read it. I haven't read it just yet, though I do want to. It does seem like it's an interesting series. Yeah, I mean, from the chapters so far, just give me a second, because I'm trying to find my initial thoughts on this that I posted in the TFS Discord. In Manga. Let's see how well I can find it. Where is it? Yeah, it was before Protect Me Sugimura, wasn't it? There it is. Yeah. So I was a bit worried because the protagonist's whole deal is that he wants to be a manga protagonist. And that's a relatively, typical shonen manga protagonist personality. So I was a little concerned. But then it turned out to be as a result of childhood abuse, which is a great way of making it more serious. I can tell you.
Oh boy.
And currently, I'm enjoying myself with it. I genuinely think it is pretty good. Hopefully,
well, that's good.
Hopefully, it will live to see next year's manga podcast. Fingers crossed, but I'm not holding out hope at this point. I certainly know out of the 3 new series which one I want to die.
Which one?
Protect Me Sugimura, because it's a gag series and I literally didn't laugh once the entire chapter. I read the first chapter and it just wasn't good. It was just really, really dull.
Ugh.
Which is a bit of a shame considering it's by the author of a One Piece spin-off series. But the fact is, out of these 3 new series that have started in the last couple of months, Sugimura is the most likely one to survive just because of its status as a gag manga, because the editor-in-chief is a fucking idiot.
Harsh.
I don't care.
Not entirely unjust.
Yeah, I don't care. The fact that he's let High School Family live is enough to seal his idiothood.
That is completely fair.
Yeah, Ayashimon, enjoying it. Hope it survives. moving on to something that has actually already ended, but I am reading the volumes for. Beastars.
Ah, Beastars. I am only watching the anime, so just gonna.
Do you wanna
Oh no.
mute while I talk about the non-anime stuff? And I will at you when I finish.
Sure thing. That sounds like a good idea.
And I'm gonna have to do it for the next series, which is Black Clover. So, um, we knew what we were getting into with this one. There's going to be some series where only one of us talks because the other is not caught up. It's mostly me who's not caught up.
There are three that won't be an issue, but yeah.
So
Alright,
yeah.
I'm deafening now.
Alright. Okay, so Beastars. I was actually really worried because, I'll be honest, I didn't really enjoy the climax to Legoshi versus Riz. It's hard to know when you just read the fucking word. I should watch the anime just to get the pronunciation for some of the names. I'm gonna stick with Riz. Yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of it. I just wasn't sure how much I liked. It just felt a lot of. I don't know how to really describe it. I honestly don't know how to really properly put into words my thoughts about that ending. Like, I enjoyed the bits leading up to that, and then just the fight itself just seemed really, I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me. I'm not sure I liked the fact that Legoshi ate Louis' leg, and powered up because of it. I just But, and this is a huge but, ever since then I have gotten fully back into Beastars. All the stuff after that has been absolutely superb. I've loved Legoshi living alone, getting to know his neighbours, including the fucking... oh god, what is he? He's either a seal or a manatee or something like that. The guy who used to live under the sea, and it is confirmation that there is a society of or like sea creatures are anthropomorphic and sapient, whatever, one of the two, which we weren't sure about before. So that's confirmation. And he just loves to get naked because apparently the sea is a lot more dangerous than above ground, which makes sense. But so it's just like, why bother being prudish? Might as well just get naked. There's just a hilarious bit where he convinces Legoshi to get naked, and his herbivore, his female herbivore neighbor, who he'd been getting to know, walks in and sees them. It's just like, I'm gonna leave now. The other thing we are getting to know is the current Beastar, who is a horse by the name of Yaya, I think it is. That's right, Yaya. Who was actually friends with Legoshi's grandpa, Komodo Dragon Gosha. Still not entirely sure how to think about Yaya. Maybe he's a good guy. Maybe he's just being a petty bitch about Gosha. Because the whole thing was that he wanted Gosha to join him as a joint Beastar type thing, like a herbivore and a carnivore being the joint Beastar together. And then Gosha said, fucked it off to marry Legoshi's grandma, who was a wolf. So yeah, he's being a bit of a jealous bitch at the moment and taking it out on Legoshi. Not to mention Haru has re-entered the story, and that's been really interesting. Yeah, I'm just flicking through the most recent chapter. Ooh, a half leopard, half gazelle serial killer has shown up. In fact, I'm fairly sure he's the one who's on the cover, volume 15 cover, because I'm only up to volume 14. But yeah, no, Beastars still really good. Really enjoying it. Really looking forward to the next volume. And I will just call Jack back as we move on to Black Clover.
Gotcha.
We are now on to Black Clover.
Excellent. So with Black Clover, lots of crazy shit has happened.
Let me just check where I am in terms of the manga. Let me just get my most recent volume, which I just dropped because I'm a clumsy idiot. Oh, that's right. The Vice Captain and the Black Bulls just got introduced in Act.
You're that far back? Jeez.
Yep. So I believe that means that Yami and Vengeance have been taken.
Yep. Wow, I am way farther into that arc than you are.
Yep. I'm fairly sure the anime is further into that arc than I am. Am I wrong? I don't know.
No, you're not wrong.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Considering I saw a...
Oh wait, no. The anime ended with the fight between the Dante fight. Dante fight.
Weird. I thought it was further along, considering.
No, actually, no. It did end with a bit further in.
I'm basing it on the fact that I saw a screenshot from the anime recently that had Asta's mother, and considering I've never seen her, I assumed it was further ahead.
It was further ahead.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah.
I mean, I can just talk in broad strokes real quick about it.
Well, I'll just go through my impressions of the arc I'm in so far, and then I'll mute and you can talk about spoilers.
Okay.
I'm still not sure if Black Clover has really managed to properly recover from sort of certainly that I feel the downer ending of the Elf arc. Not even downer ending. Just I didn't feel like it lived up to the hype. Mostly because it introduced the devil 10, 15 chapters before the arc ended, and the arc was 100 chapters long.
I think it's gotten a lot better. It helps that the main antagonists have been a lot more effective, let's say, this time around.
I just, Black Clover did this with the Elf arc. It, managed to flesh out the Midnight Sun really well, and then when the ships were actually down, it replaced them and turned them into protagonists.
That has not really been the case with this current arc.
Yet.
Especially because all of the Dark Triad have been irredeemable shitheads.
It hasn't happened yet.
No, trust me, it's not going to happen. At least not with 2 out of 3 of them.
It hasn't happened yet. Until the arc ends, I'm going to keep sticking that yet on. But if you want to, go into what especially makes it not the case, I will now deafen and you can talk spoilers. Okay. Oh.
Pretty damn good.
I can't deafen. Sorry, that's my bad. I have to take my headphones off. It's not deafen, it's take my headphones off, because then nobody else can hear you.
Oh.
I forgot about that little aspect, so I will take my headphones off, and then you can at me.
Alright, understood. So, yeah. All 3 of the main baddies in the Dark Triad have been dealt with at this point. The only the main villain left is actually Morris from the Diamond Kingdom arc, and he's working together with the Dante's devil Lucifero, who is basically the actual main antagonist after after all the triad went down. But all the final fights of the Dark Triad have been really fun, especially Dante being unexpectedly taken out by Magna, and as well as the fight with the big group fight that wound up taking out Vanica, as well as her devil Megakila, who winds up hijacking the fight about halfway through. And it's probably for the best because Megakila has also has a really strong personal connection to Noelle. The entire fight is really spectacular and really does a great job of just showcasing Noelle and her character development and her relationships with some of the other members of the cast. There's also the fight in which Xenon finally goes down, which helps develop Yuno and gives him a strong power up as well. But yeah, they're in the end game of the arc, it looks like. It's been a really good arc overall, honestly. But, with that said, let's call my pal back in. Yep.
You done?
Yep, I'm done.
Okay. Moving on then to series that only started this year that I'm enjoying incredibly. Blue Box.
Ooh. Oh yeah, I've heard a lot about that one.
You should give it a try. Man. Like it's partly sports, but it's mostly romance.
Neat.
Like the sport is more just an excuse for the two main characters to sort of not even just interact, but just be close together, sort of thing.
Interesting.
So this did start this year, if I recall correctly.
I believe so. Yeah, like somewhere in the middle of the year.
What? Let's have a look. Blue Box. Where is Blue Box? There. Issue 19 of 2021. So around April, I think.
That tracks.
It was in the same batch as Candy Flurry.
Well, one of those ended up a lot better than the other.
Yeah, this is one of those that I honestly think can see continuing on for a while, because this is
it's one of the. It's been really successful. The only other new series I know that has surpassed in terms of like sales and such is probably one that we have yet to cover on here. And you know which one it is.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I think it actually... let me check.
I'm pretty sure Blue Box is the second highest new one this year.
I think it might have actually outsold the one you're thinking of.
Really? That's impressive.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm just going to try and have
a look. I mean, if it's true, it's impressive.
Yeah. No. I do an advanced search from these accounts. Okay. SJ Manga. So, yeah, it's basically... So I am desperately need a reread because I've only read all of these chapters once, and they've generally been in the middle of like other stuff.
You figure out which.
So I can't. Basically, the basic plot is main boy has a crush on main girl who is his senpai, I think. I think she's the year above him. And then he's a member of the badminton team. Do you just want to mute until that sound shuts off, Jack?
What sound?
There's quite a bit of sound coming through on your end.
Sorry, I'll mute. Go ahead.
So, Main Boy is part of the badminton club. Main Girl is part of the basketball club. Let me see if I can actually get names. It would be good if I could get names. Taiki is part of the badminton club. Chinatsu is part of the basketball team. Her family moves away, so she actually moves in with Taiki, and rom-com shenanigans ensue. Complicating matters is the fact that there is a girl who does gymnastics in Taiki's year who has a crush on him, a clear crush, and Taiki's current doubles partner in the badminton is Haruyu Senpai, who most definitely... Well, no. Taiki initially worried that he also had a crush on Chinatsu. Fairly sure that isn't the case. I think they're just friends. But Taiki is basically wrestling with both trying to develop a relationship with Chinatsu without, being too weird and forward, while also succeeding on the badminton team. I'm fairly sure that's in part because he thinks that doing better at that will at the very least keep him closer to Chinatsu, who is a very good basketball player and has taken the team to nationals. But we're now going to get some Hina action, as the two of them are going to be going on a date/not date at a fireworks festival, which generally romantic. This is really good. I'm enjoying it. I do intend to reread it at some point, just to make sure I remember names, if nothing else. Because as I said, the only times I've been reading it have been Sundays in amongst all the other manga that I read, and it's sort of an issue. I'm enjoying this. This is really good. In terms of the sales, I think its most recent volume did actually outsell Elusive Samurai.
That's impressive.
I'll have to check, but it sold over 100,000 copies.
Mm-hmm.
Elusive Samurai's most recent volume sold 78,000, so yeah, it did outsell it. I'd like to point out, Blue Box had a much more competitive month, because its volume released in the same month as Jujutsu Kaisen 17, My Hero Volume 32, and Black Clover Volume 30. So yeah, it's doing real fucking well. Fingers crossed that the love triangle doesn't become too much of a. Sorry, I should say love corner, which actually, what is the shape? It's not quite a love corner because it's not two characters focusing on the same character. It's more of a love line. You got Hina, who's interested in Taiki, who's interested in Chinatsu. I'm not sure what shape that is.
I mean, if it's a one-way streak, it's probably a line.
I'm fairly sure it's a line. I'm fairly sure that isn't currently... Chinatsu does not have interest in Hina. Though I'm fairly sure she has interest in Taiki. They're just both awkward teenagers.
Yep, that tracks.
But
teenagers do be awkward.
Yeah. Moving on to another new Shonen Jump series. This is the most recent series, Doron Dororon.
I mean, if you don't really have much to say about it because it's so new, you don't have to say much about it.
I'm going to try and say a little bit about it. It's an interesting series. There's only been 2 chapters, so I really can't say too much about it. But it seems like an interesting world. And I quite like the 2 protagonists. Hopefully it'll survive. I'm not holding any bets, though.
Ah, damn.
I just have no faith. I'd rather assume that it's going to die than assume that it's going to live and then get disappointed if it does die.
See, that's why I'm not even bothering to start many of those new ones.
Yeah, but I like having a lot to read on a Sunday, so. Moving on to a series that I am only reading. I'm only reading the volumes. The Legend of Dororo and Hyakkimaru, which is the manga adaptation of
The new Dororo.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which has actually been I'm not sure if I'd call it an adaptation of the 2019 anime series because it's not really.
More of a readaptation.
I think it is more of a readaptation of the original manga. I'm currently up to volume 3. Where have we gotten up to?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just checking the volume. Where is it? Oh, I think we are around the same time that. Oh damn, that's right. Fucking Hyakkimaru actually killed Tahomaru.
Oh shit!
Fucking sliced his throat.
Jesus.
He can
That is not what happened in the original.
No, it really isn't. He can also already talk.
Dang. Did we already get the shit with Mio as well?
Very possibly. Let me.
Did you do not remember, or did you skip it?
It's a case of these volumes don't come out that quickly, so unless I reread it, I've got a lot of other stuff on my mind.
Fair enough.
I don't think we have actually. I think we've basically speed run through the Tahomaru stuff, especially considering the fact that he is not as sympathetic a figure as he is in the anime. He is very much a villain. Like, I'm fairly sure he's already got a demon in him.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes it feel a little bit better then.
No, I don't think the Mio stuff has been done. Not that I can remember. Not that I can see from flipping through the volumes. I'm fairly sure it's not done it yet, if it's going to do it. Though I'm fairly sure that is her on the cover. So, on the cover of volume 4, which I will be getting... January. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's different from the anime, which actually helps because it means I'm not just going through a manga version of the story. It's interesting seeing where it does diverge. If it is an adaptation of the OG manga by Tezuka, at some point I'm fairly sure it will just have to come up with its own stuff. So I'm also looking forward to that. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Dororo the anime. I'm enjoying Dororo the manga. Moving on to another Shonen Jump title, though. Dr. Stone, which is gearing up for its endgame.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be fun.
It's very much gearing up for its endgame.
All the rest in here. But be careful. It's hot.
I mean, the biggest twist of the recent stuff has definitely been the selection of who else is going to be going on the moon mission. Because we knew Senku was going to go from the beginning, from the moment they decided on doing it.
It was
it was always going to be Senku.
Yeah, it was almost certain there was always going to be Senku. I admit I didn't necessarily see Kohaku coming.
I didn't see that. There was a lot of setup for it to be Tsukasa, but
yeah,
I'm pleasantly surprised with it being Kohaku instead.
And I genuinely did think that it was going to be Ryusei who was going to be the pilot, but they've spoiler warning for the most recent chapter. They have chosen Stanley Snyder instead.
Which was also just like a big twist.
Yeah. I mean, it's understandable. He probably is the better choice, if nothing else, from a military point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And they are
he is a more skilled pilot and an excellent shooter. So,
and they are most definitely going up there to fight a battle.
Yep.
What I'm looking forward to, and these are spoilers for anyone who hasn't read the Byakuya spin-off. I'm so expecting that to the AI robot thing that they left up there to play a part in the eventual finale, which I think is going to be quite good.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
I am slightly concerned by the pacing of it, just like speed running things, but at the same time, like, it's done a pretty good job of making the pace not feel like super rushed.
It's not been that bad, and honestly, you know, they've Inagaki and Boichi have been going for 4 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, close to 5 years now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they've gotten, you know, massively tired with Dr. Stone, but I do think they are, you know, don't want to drag it out too much.
Understandable. Especially
considering a lot of the stuff the sped run through, like, it feels like it would just be a slightly different version of the, you know, stuff that we've done before. Like the map, like the fucking guide maps of creation stuff. So, like, I don't mind it too much that they are they're going at a bit of a quicker pace right now. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember where we were last time we talked about Dr. Stone. At the manga highlights thing. Let's have a look. Chapter 180. We hadn't actually gotten to the climax of the battle against Zeno and Stanley, which was a hell of a fucking finale, because
that went off. Holy shit.
Everyone died and then was petrified except for Suika.
Well, Suika got petrified too. And she woke up and she was the only one around for, I think, 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
Trying to make her own depetrification solution.
So, yeah, she's all grown up now.
Well, she's still a teenager at this point.
She's more grown up than the girl who, you know, was able to hide in half a melon.
That is very true.
But yeah, no, Dr. Stone, still enjoyable. Looking forward to the finale.
I'm here.
So moving on to the Elusive Samurai, the newest Yusei Matsui story.
I mean, you go ahead and talk at length about this, dude. You're the one who...
I'm the one who's reading it and loving it.
Yeah. I'll just mute. But...
yeah, no, I'm so massively enjoying this. Look, I love Yusei Matsui's style. I make no bones about it. Like, I absolutely adore it. There's a reason Ass Class is, I think, my third favorite series overall in terms of anime and manga, only beaten by My Hero and Hunter x Hunter. Elusive Samurai is, in terms of quality, I feel it's more of the same from Ass Class. It's got the same focused nature, which I think is to its favor. Because I think that's an issue that a lot of shonen mangas can face. Is like it. they don't have a focused goal and a focused endpoint, which results in them just going on and on and on and on and losing focus until it's basically a mess. Elusive Samurai doesn't have that. You know, they've very much got an end goal of Tokiyuki. Names again, I'm not great at. Tokiyuki reclaiming the throne. And like, they've already given him his fucking like special ability, which is still one of my favorite chapters of just because Tokiyuki's whole thing is that he like he's not strong, he's not he is smart, but he's definitely not, you know, a powerful warrior. His whole deal is that he is good at running away. And so one of his new retainers, Fubuki, who fights with a dual katana style, which I love, teaches him the art of elusive sword fighting, where he basically lures the opponent in. Well, he fights against this giant of a man whose whole thing is that, like, represents like insect decay or something like that. I don't know what the theme 100% is, but like, what he does is he basically just gives the guy a cut on the wrist, and he probably doesn't manage to nick a vein or an artery, like, and then avoids the guy's strikes up until the point where the dude just passes out from blood loss. Not only does he avoid the fucking avoid the guy's strikes, he avoids the guy's blood. He doesn't even have a drop of blood on him, and he's just smiling the entire time. That's also the same chapter in which oh god, I don't remember their names. Two of the kids, two of the murder kids, fucking like behead one of, again, this massive fucking soldier, just fucking beheads him. Like, god, these kids are like 10 and they're just such murder children, and I love it. I just really enjoying the series. Like, I wonder how quick, because they are not that far off the point where they said Tokiyuki needs to make his move to fit in with history. Because Tokiyuki, you know, real person who did in fact really like his father was deposed, and then he did fight against the new shogun Ashikaga Takauji. In fact, beat Ashikaga Takauji's brother Tadayoshi, who has been introduced with a bunch of retainers. Yeah, like, my big issue with the series would be that Yorishige, his humor is hit and miss, but he's basically fulfilling the role of Koro-sensei as, you know, the comedic relief and the mentor figure. But he's not even as present as Koro-sensei, and he has very much calmed down recently. So I'm not as worried. I'm really enjoying the series. I can't wait to see where it gets taken. Bring on more murder children. Moving on then to another series that I'm reading the volumes for, Hinamatsuri.
Hinamatsuri. I am way behind on that
one. We are now post time skip for Hinamatsuri. I got volume 13 recently, and it's introduced another yakuza with another like psychic child. And obviously fucking what's his face? Nita has to take this guy on because he's taking down all the other Yakuza gangs, and so Nita is sent to deal with him. So he brings Hida along, and he's just like, this is why I hate bringing the fucking psychic kids into this shit. It makes it into some sort of spectacle. This is supposed to be a good old-fashioned gang war, and you've just made this like some sort of surreal tournament. It's just and it's just great. Like, I'm still enjoying the humor of the series. Poor God, what's her face?
Hitomi?
Yeah, Hitomi. Poor Hitomi. She's still so put upon. Like, something that wasn't really, I don't think got mentioned in the anime, is the fact that her fucking dad, like, she becomes like almost like the CEO of a company, and her fucking dad works for her.
Oh, that's amazing. I also remember hearing about a chapter where she goes to America and learns curse words from a drill sergeant.
I'm fairly sure that's already happened. I can't exactly remember. This is another series that the volume releases are a bit sparse. But there was, in the most recent volume, it opened up on basically fucking Hitomi having to keep her parents together, and like having to give her dad advice as his boss. Oh god, it's just so fucking dumb, like, and I love it. Anzu is still hanging around, is still great. Yeah, it's still a really good series. I wish it would get a second season, but it's probably not. At this point, but the manga is still good enough that like I'm happy with it. Moving on then to one of the big ones. Let's be real. The most popular manga this year, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Now, let me check where we have to talk for
Well,
2021.
I believe Shibuya ended late last year.
134, which was the end of Shibuya, yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
And it's very hot, so use the mitts to take it out. Or, you know what?
So, Akatsu has been reintroduced. Well, first and foremost, society is basically fucked at the moment because of Kenjaku, who has taken over Geto's body.
We call him Getsu here.
Yeah, he's the brain. He's the big bad brain, who got dicked down by Yuji's dad. Because yes,
That is still a hilarious reveal.
Yeah, because yes, it has been revealed that Kenjaku is in fact Yuji's dad, which does in fact make him half brothers with Choso.
Which is kind of hilarious.
Which and you know, we've also got the suspicion that that means he's also half brothers with Todo, considering considering the whole memory thing. Maybe
maybe Kenjaku gets around. You don't know.
I just find it so funny that in this like big master plan of Kenjaku's, they found it so necessary to get fucked by this like mild-mannered dude with glasses.
Hey, if you gotta get down dirty with someone, you gotta get down dirty with someone. If it helps the evil plans, that's that.
I just find it funny. So yeah, Gojo hasn't appeared at all this year, which Akutami, I'm sure, is delighted about, considering they apparently just despise Gojo, which is hilarious.
Yeah, Gojo's gonna stay in the fuck box up until Akutami finally decides to let him out.
It's just funny whenever there are like polls done or people like say, "Oh, Gojo's my favorite character." There's always a bunch of people just going, Well, that's another year in the box for Gojo. We should also point out that at this point in universe, it's only been like 2 weeks since the end of Shibuya.
Yeah.
And Shibuya
You know
was
what's the most frustrating thing about that, though, is that we still don't know what the fuck happened with Nobara.
Yeah, we still have the only news we have from Nobara is the fact that Yuji asked about her, Megumi didn't answer and just looked down. I'm hoping.
And
I just at this point look.
She's not dead.
Yeah, look at this point, like. At this point, if Akutami had decided that she was dead, he would have said so by now. He would have revealed it. There's no point in keeping it hidden if she's dead. Like, just genuinely no point. And I'm fairly sure he must have decided at this point whether she's alive or dead. I mean, it's been, God, how many chapters? A good, what are we up to now? 67. Probably a good, about 60-odd chapters. Since, maybe a little bit more. I can't remember. What was it? Is it that chapter?
Which chapter? For what?
126. 126 was the chapter that Nobara went down. That's right.
And that was late last year.
Yeah. 126 was October. So it's been over a year in our time. So at this point, Akutami has to know.
Yeah.
Akutami absolutely has to know what they're doing with Nobara. And the fact that they haven't just said...
At this point, I'm pretty sure he's just fucking with us.
Yeah. So, what I will say, and I'm sure I'm getting my hopes up for nothing, but because I'm willing to bet that I would have heard a lot more about it from the leakers if this were the case. But apparently, an unexpected ally turns up to help Megumi in tomorrow's chapter. So,
oh boy,
fingers crossed. But
wonder who they'll be.
I'm fairly sure I know who it's going to be. I know who I hope it's going to be, which is Nobara, but I'm fairly sure I know who it's actually going to be.
Is it going to be Toto? I think it's probably going to be Toto.
No. On a completely unrelated note, let's talk about Maki.
Oh, yes. Oh, God.
Who went on a fucking murder rampage.
That was amazing.
Like, just, it's so satisfying to see it. It's so satisfying.
You love to see it.
Like, we got introduced to Naoya Zenin, who is basically just a fucking asshole. Like, he's a full-on misogynist.
Yup.
And fucking Maki just destroys him.
She destroys the entire Zenin clan.
Yeah. Because the point is that she is supposed to be you know, as superhumanly strong as Toji, Megumi's dad. But while Mai was still alive, she couldn't be as strong. Well, neither of them could be as strong while the other lived. So Mai gave her life.
Sucks.
Yeah. So Mai gave her life to create a sword for Maki, and then. So like before that, Maki fought her dad and was I would say pretty handily beaten. I don't think it was that close. Maki, like Mai sacrifices herself, gives Maki the sword. Maki gets out, fights her dad again, ends it in one blow.
Him.
Just fucking cuts his head in two.
And then she proceeds to curb stomp the entire rest of the clan.
Yeah.
The only one who puts up even remotely a fight is Naoya.
Yeah, and that's only because his fucking power is bullshit.
I mean, he has the same power as his, the former head of the clan who died in Shibuya.
Now Bito. And I still say it's bullshit.
On the left side, put it
So yeah, she's apparently out and about killing the rest of the Zenin clan. As I said, got introduced to Akotsu. Well, reintroduced. He came in. Looked like he was going to execute Yuji on behalf of the conservative clan or conservative like group. No, he is still working with still on the side of Gojo.
He put in an Oscar-worthy performance to convince them, though.
Oh, he absolutely did. Though what certainly convinced me was the fact that Sukuna didn't do anything when Kotsu stabbed Yuji in the heart. Feels like a time Sukuna would intervene. Yuji at the moment is sad boy, unfortunately, because he's feeling very guilty about what Sukuna did in Shibuya, which caused a really cool fight. So the current arc we're on is called the Culling Game, and the whole point is that Kenjaku is basically forced like a portion of the population to into being sorcerers, or has used previous sorcerers to basically reincarnate in other people's bodies. One of which is a defense attorney in Japan called Higuruma, who I think you can, see exactly what his backstory's like, considering the 99.2% conviction rate in Japan. Whatever the fuck the percentage is that's stupidly high. So yeah, he goes on a bit of a rampage until Yuji shuts him down, which is a really cool fight. He's got a really cool power, because his whole thing is basically just he has a domain, but the domain isn't an offensive one. It is basically a support, and if he manages to, or if his it's not a Shikigami, is it? I think it's a cursed spirit. Manages to find his opponent guilty, then they get a punishment, like losing control of their cursed energy. Yuji is initially convicted of going to a pachinko parlor, which is hilarious considering Akutami has previously tried to show Yuji going to a pachinko parlor, but Shonen Jump wouldn't let him. And then he did like a mini story of like, oh hey, what's worse? And like listed two really bad crimes of Nobaras and Megumis, and then Yuji going to the pachinko parlor and then saying, oh, the pachinko parlor is the worst one easily. Obviously, who wouldn't think that? Yeah, no, Higuruma is great. Yeah, I'm just really looking forward to where this goes next. We're getting a focus on Megumi. Oh, Panda survived. Panda survived Shibuya. I'm so happy. I was so worried for him. But he survived. He showed that even pandas cry when the Yaga was killed, which was sad. And now he's working with the rest of the group. And we got introduced to the two Tokyo third years, Hikari and Hoshi. Me personally, I really like Hoshi's design. I wish they were more present, and I do have to say they, because they are dressed femininely. But according to Panda, the other suspended third year is a guy. So we're still not 100% sure what's going on there. Because, hey, the translators are not taking a fucking stand, which is completely fair. And Hikari's pretty cool. Hopefully we'll get more of him at some point. But yeah, they're basically just at this point on the hunt. Well, they have Yuji managed to convince Higuruma to introduce a new rule so that people could transfer points between each other, which means that which means that they can save people from being affected by curse technique removal, which is good because that means they can save Megumi's sister, I'm fairly sure. But they are still on the search for Hana Kurisu, who is basically who they hope can free Gojo from the prison realm, because yeah, as it turns out, there were two things that could have saved Gojo from, or can save Gojo from the prison realm. Toji's inverted spear of heaven, which Gojo either sealed or destroyed, or the black rope that Miguel used in Volume 0, which Gojo destroyed. So Gojo...
I love how Tommy basically set up Gojo to fuck himself over.
Yeah. What's hilarious is just the fact that Yuji and Megumi both have the same reaction of, why the fuck did he do that? And meanwhile, Akatsu is in the background just going, yeah, that's Gojo. Yeah, no, this is great. Jujutsu Kaisen is still as good as ever. Really looking forward to the rest of it. But moving on to a series I've only very recently started reading the manga for and reading the volumes for. You'll of course know it, Jack. Kageki Shoujo.
Ah, yes. Is the manga... Are you on the part of the manga that's past the anime yet?
No, nowhere near. Actually, am I anywhere near? No, I'm not anywhere near. Where am I? Volume 2 ends with the end of the summer break.
Oh, okay. That's still a ways off.
Yeah. I mean, the manga is still just as good. It introduces... The main change that I can recall is that it introduces a small scene where Sarasa talks to, I think... Oh, who is he? Something like the fucking chairman of the board for the school. And basically, just by being herself, convinces him to do the whole acting exercise for the first years. Because previously he was basically like, oh no, it's not tradition. We shouldn't do something that's not tradition. And then Sarasa talked to him and reminded him of his love for acting, and he caved. Again, Sarasa didn't know who the fuck he was. He was just some old dude on a bench that she just happened to talk to. But yeah, no, it's a really enjoyable manga, and I am very much looking forward to... I should be getting the next volume sometime fairly soon, which is volume 3. So I am immensely looking forward to getting that. But moving on to Kaguya-sama, Love is War. This is all you, because I am, not reading the manga.
Completely fair. That is,
I barely...
especially because it's probably in its endgame.
Yeah, I barely even watched the anime at this point. I've only watched like a season and a half.
Fucking hell, man.
It's on my catch-up list, but I haven't gotten to my catch-up list in a while. Mainly because I'm still not 100% sure what to do about Margie.
Ooh. Yeah, one of the big things to be aware of is, do you mind spoilers? I'm not going to go too deep in spoilers.
No, I've honestly been reading the spoilers whenever they've come up in the manga channels, so it's fine.
Fair enough. So Kaguya and Shirogane have been together for quite a while now. They first basically started going out over 100 chapters ago at this point.
I feel like I remember there was a whole thing about Kaguya having a second personality.
Yeah, that's a thing that'll probably show up in season 4 of the anime, but that was like last year. So don't worry about it. No, what's been interesting is like we've been introduced a lot to the politics of the Shinomiya family and
Yeah.
how those interact with the other characters.
Mm-hmm.
And we've also done a lot of delving into the relationships between the other characters. Especially Ishigami has gotten a lot of spotlight. And a lot of development, which has been good for him.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not like a fan of all of the developments that have happened, I still appreciate him getting a lot of spotlight because he deserves it.
Wasn't there a whole like love corner thing happening with him?
Yes. The girl he was pining after turned him down, which is unfortunate because I really liked her.
Yeah, but it's also, consistent with Ishigami's existence.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he does have a girl who likes him, but like the relationship is really vague at this point.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
So is Chika getting to do anything, or is she just there?
Who?
Chika. Yeah.
She did have a bit in a fairly recent chapter where she finally finds out that Kaguya and Miyuki are dating, and her freak out is hilarious. And I believe she's met at least one more of the four.
You are roboting real hard right now. We may have lost Jack.
Sorry, did I cut out?
Yes, you did.
Okay. So, Chika had a bit where she reacted to finding out that Miyuki and Kaguya are an item, and she also met at least one more of the ramen emperors of Tokyo, which has always been one of my favorite ongoing subplots of the series. Just like, because it's so gag-based,
Yeah.
But what's also been really fun is I don't know, the deepening of Kaguya and Shiragane's relationship. They boned after a chapter of build-up that suggested that they would just take it easy and be patient, and then smash cuts the next morning. It's like, oh shit, they banged.
Oh wow. Okay.
And the whole setup was really nice, just because it worked at making their hesitance and stuff make sense. But at the same time, it also just shows. It also just illustrates that.
So wait, did they do the fucking Brooklyn Nine-Nine thing?
Kinda. Kinda.
Okay.
It's great. It's so great. But yeah, I'm really liking the direction so far. But like, shit's been hitting the fan lately, especially because of this stuff involving Kaguya's family.
Yeah.
Which I will not get into. But there was also this really fun.
Oh, he cut out again.
Ends up learning from Shirogane's dad how to be a gamer.
Okay.
Which is just like, oh yeah, Mr. Shirogane also became a live streamer to make some more money.
Okay.
The gags in the series are fucking wild, I swear. It's a very good series, but we can move on now. We probably should try to speed it up a little bit, because we've been talking for a while about each individual series.
I mean, honestly, there's not actually that many series. But we're about at the halfway
many.
point, to be fair, but we can speed it up.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
I mean, there are some series we're going to talk about less than others. But we can move on to Kaiju No.8, which has been really fucking good.
Hell. Yeah, the latest couple chapters have been fucking
wild. Yeah, fucking wild.
Yeah. Pain. But yeah, Kaiju No.8 is really fucking good.
Yeah, no, it's a really enjoyable series. Really enjoyable series. Really glad I picked it up.
Yeah, I really like a lot of the newer characters, even though I am kind of sad that some of the original main cast got sidelined to introduce them. But I'm not going to complain too much because the new characters are also really good.
Yeah, new characters are good. I'm sure we'll get to see the old characters at some point as well. Anyway, but
yeah, especially after this arc concludes.
But basically,
this arc is going to have a ramification.
I was about to say the status quo has been quite viciously shattered at this point now.
Yep. We also got a pretty good look at what the power ceiling looks like.
Mm-hmm. Which again is cool. I like when series do that early, as long as they stick to it.
Yeah. There's probably going to be escalation past it at some point, but it's probably not going to be until like the end game or somewhere near then.
That's okay, as long as it's the end game. It's when you get to when you do it like, oh, here's the power ceiling. Oh, the protagonist has reached that power ceiling. Here's the new one. Cough cough.
Oh
Naruto.
yeah, the Naruto thing.
Cough cough. Naruto. Cough cough. Dragon Ball. Cough cough. Bleach. Bleach probably did it right.
Yeah, it's an issue on Bleach. I don't fucking know. Bleach power levels are kind of inconsistent. But yeah, Kaiju No.8, really good. Excellent action, great characters, surprisingly moving at points.
Yeah, no, it's a really enjoyable series. I think we both recommend it to anyone. It's fairly short at the moment. How many chapters is it up to at the moment?
Like 50. A little over 50, I think.
52, yeah. It's just hit the year mark, damn.
Yeah. Not for a year, and it's already a fucking banger.
It's not been out quite for... It's been out for over a year, because it's had .1s.
Yeah, it has a lot of breaks for a while. I think it did like one break every month, and then it was bi-weekly for a bit.
Yeah.
And now it is. Yeah.
Now, Kaiju No.8, good series. Give it a try. Moving on to Komi-san Can't Communicate.
I am not current on the manga, but I know the big thing that happened recently.
I hope you don't mention the big thing that happened recently while I'm listening, because I am fairly sure I'm fairly sure I know what it is, but currently I'm deep in the throes of the love corner with Tadano, Komi and
Monbagi.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm nowhere near current on the manga, but I know the gist. How that goes and how that went, and I can understand why that might be frustrating to people.
I mean, it's not even.
Since it apparently went on for long.
I mean, I'm honestly not feeling frustrated right now. Like I like the characters, and to be honest, it's the fact that I know. Spoiler alert. I'm fairly sure that you know this, and this is the big thing you were mentioning, but Komi and Tadano get together.
Yep. Spoilers, I guess, for
I said spoilers.
Every rom-com manga ever.
Don't worry, I said spoilers.
I mean, to be fair, it's very rare for rom-com manga to not have that happen at some point.
Yeah.
I just thought it happened well before the end of the series.
Yeah. And honestly, I'll give it to this. The characters introduced in the new class are a lot better than the previous ones, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, I've heard as much.
Like they've kept the good for the most part, the good ones, and added to them with other good ones. Yamai, I'm fairly sure, has barely shown up.
Yeah, I believe there was one chapter fairly recently where she is super salty over them. Yeah,
Well, then she can go fuck herself.
exactly.
Because they're together, and nothing she can do can stop that.
Like,
Yeah, no, Komi's still as good as it ever is. It's enjoyable, and I'm 100% going to keep getting it. Here is the point where I take my headphones off again, because it's My Hero Academia.
okay, so a lot of shit has happened this year. I kind of don't want to talk about it too much, honestly, because shit's hit the fan. The Meta Liberation War has utterly fucked the status quo. And there's a whole bit where Deku goes full vigilante, and a lot of cool fights, including him fighting against Class 1A, actually. And then there is a bit of a tangent where, there's also this really great bit with Uraraka just defending Deku from a basically mob of people. And, a mob of people who want to keep him from getting shelter, but they relent after she and a few other civilians stand up for him. It's a really great bit. There's also a bit where Shigaraki fights the strongest hero from America, which is really wish they'd shown that more, but whatever. And the traitor got revealed recently. I'm not going to get into that because I'll save that for next year's talk. But don't want to delve too much into it, but it's been good. It's been very good. The art has been consistently extremely good. But moving on to the Mill, talking about a related series.
Okay, I am back.
Nope.
Yep.
Now it's time for you to talk about the
spin-off.
Academia spin-off.
Vigilantes. So we are rapidly approaching Endgame. Koichi is currently fighting number 6. Knuckle Duster's alive, which is great. Love Knuckle Duster. So glad he's alive. Pop is unfortunately still in the hospital. We also got a really cool flashback arc to Knuckle Duster. I think before he'd gotten his quirk stolen. But he ended up in an underground fighting ring. Ended up teaming up with Rappa from the Overhaul arc. And then this mysterious bunny-themed girl with a lucha mask arrived. And of course, nobody knows who she is. I should point out that it is 100% Murako, which was really nice because you've got two fucking basically battle crazy people in Rappa and Murako just like wanting to beat the shit out of everything that moves, and fucking Knuckle Duster is having to be the voice of restraint here, which was great. I loved that. We are. As I said, we are 100% in the climax at this point. Ooh. That was weird. Internet, don't die on me right now. It's okay for the time being. Especially considering we've not got any moving parts, but... If the quality is a little bit worse right now, apologies, but... something is happening either with my computer or my... or with my internet. Honestly, I'm hoping it's the latter, considering how expensive this computer is. Anyway, Vigilantes, yeah, I think we are probably, based on yesterday's chapter, I'd say we'll definitely be ending this year. 100% going to be ending this year. It just depends on how long it takes for fucking number 6 to admit he's fucked and lose. Or for All Might to appear. One of the two. But moving on to one of the other big old ones that we're going to talk about. One Piece.
Oh boy. I mean, this year kicked off with chapter fucking 1000, so... It's been a monumental year for the series.
Yeah.
But, no, like, the entirety of the rooftop fight was fucking awesome. Several of the Europa fights were really good.
Yeah.
And honestly, just, like, everything to do with, like, King and Queen have proven to be a lot more engaging as antagonists than I thought they would be.
Yeah. I think we still need more about King. To really...
Well, definitely, but he hasn't been fleshed out as much as Queen has yet, so I expect that to happen more as Zoro fights him longer.
Yeah. Queen's been good, and, you know, it's as we expected. Zoro's fighting King, Sanji's fighting King, Sanji's fighting Queen. Fairly sure last time we saw Kinemon, he was he in half properly, or was he just...
He was still in half.
Yeah.
He was in half, and he was leading, I think, Usopp over to the rest of... Usopp and Nami over to the rest of them.
Yeah.
Along with Kiku, who is still barely clinging.
At this point, I really hope that... well, no, I don't want the samurai to die, but, like... I feel like it would be a bit bullshit if they survived. At the same time, it's not like fucking Oda's not pulled this bullshit before. In terms of people surviving when they shouldn't. What else is there in terms of One Piece? Oh, Kid and Law are fighting Big Mom. And I think are doing pretty well, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, they're doing fairly well. They awakened their devil fruits, at least partially.
Yeah. And it's been a few chapters since we've seen it, but Luffy is back on the tower and fighting Kaido. Yeah.
Yeah, we only saw a glimpse of him. We haven't seen him since, which is unfortunate. But like, yeah, no, it's that entire fight with Kaido has just been really good.
Yeah.
Dude's clearly having a blast fighting so many strong people in a row.
And I'm trying to remember. Yes, we do not get a chapter tomorrow.
Aww. I'm looking forward.
We are still 8 days out from the next One Piece chapter, unfortunately. So, is there anything else? Drake, is Drake still putzing about? Or is he? What was he doing? I feel like I remember Drake. Was he? Did he have to team up with Apu? I can't remember. Something like that. Certainly, Apu is trying. Was Apu trying to get on the side of CP0, or was he trying to fight them? Can't remember. And Jack, who would know, is dealing with technical issues. So I guess you'll just have to take my word for it. I think that's the case. So yeah, I would like to move on, but the next series is one that only Jack can talk about, and he What do you remember? Ah, you're back now. Do you remember what
Yeah.
Apu and Drake are doing?
They're finding CP0 now
That's right.
because
I
Apu
thought so.
decided to go paparazzi on them.
That's what I thought. I thought so. The audience can back me up. That's what I said. Along those lines, anyway. I said that Apu and Drake were together and CP0 was involved. I didn't say I wasn't, or I prevaricated about what side Apu was on, but
Completely. He kind of does like whatever.
yeah.
That's just switches back and forth.
Also,
That's how he is.
Yeah. Also, this is more of a thing based on the anime, but I'm hoping based on the revamped version of We Are that Luffy's gonna add his badass cape to his outfit from now on.
I hope so too. It's a really cool outfit.
Yeah, no, I really, really hope so because it will be really cool. Also, yeah, I just love getting more buff Luffy.
Same. Luffy is pretty fun.
Yeah.
But
and
what's
fucking
also been
that's right. Fucking Momo's been aged by the Shinobi.
Shinobu, yeah.
I'd
Shinobu
like to say
really easy to remember.
I'd like to say that I just got the last letter wrong, but no, I didn't remember her name at all and just went with Shinobi.
Her name is really easy to remember.
Yeah, Shinobu. Yeah, so he's been aged up by her ripe fruit, and is now an adult. Well,
Yep.
we think he's an
have
adult.
not seen him in. We have.
Yeah, we've only seen him in dragon
his
form.
Human form.
Yeah, we've only seen him in dragon
and
form.
he bit Kaido in
Yeah.
dragon form, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I am of the opinion that he has gotten much better as a character over the course of Onigashima.
Well, yeah, because he hasn't had as much of a chat. What he's been so focused on staying alive that he hasn't had a chance to be a perv.
True. That is very true. What's also true is that he has shown that he can be brave and resourceful and useful, which is important.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's important.
Yeah, but the less he acts like a perv, the better. I am also glad that despite all the shit with Kanjuro and such, that Kiku and Kinemon are still alive.
That we know of.
Yeah.
As I was saying while you were definitely muted, I'm not sure whether I want them to die or survive.
I want Kiku at least to survive, but Kinemon, I think, will almost certainly die.
Look,
I think Ashura Doji is probably dead.
Well, we haven't seen him for ages. Look, it's
blown up.
Yeah, but so did fucking Pell.
Okay, fair. Pell has kind of invalidated most arguments for death in the series.
That's what I was saying. Like, I don't want them to be dead, but I don't want them to survive via bullshit. If they're going to survive, I want it to be because they could actually survive, and not just because Oda didn't want to kill them off. Oh boy, you're roboting hard.
Oh, sorry. Give me a few minutes.
No, you're back. It's fine.
Okay.
I don't want to send you away when we're so close to moving on. Considering Oshi no Ko is next, and I have nothing to say.
Yeah. So a recent chapter of One Piece had just a little section with Marco and Izo, and there doesn't seem to be much reason for it other than to set up Marco probably healing.
Fingers crossed, anyway. Yeah,
fingers crossed. But there's 3 major skilled, experienced doctors on the good guy side, and all of them could really heal Kiku and Kinemon. So it's kind of a lot harder to bulk it away for a lot of the characters on the good guy side. Yeah, because Marco and Law kind of have for that heal thing. So yeah. That's definitely going to be in that couple.
So, yeah. So, two last things for One Piece. First...
I want to mention Killer versus Bucket as well.
Oh, Killer versus Hawkins, yeah. Also, you are not coming through very clearly right now.
Sorry.
Yeah, Killer versus Hawkins was a good fight. It was good to see, a non-captain, non-straw hat get a, or not even straw hat ally get a good fight. Hopefully Hawkins isn't dead, because I do think he's got an interesting power, if nothing else. And if he dies, that means one less person to join the Worst Generation battle against Im and Blackbeard.
Yeah, that's getting.
You are still barely audible, dude.
Oh, I know why. Turn down my sensitivity. There we go. Is that better?
Slightly better.
Okay. But yeah, what were the two things you wanted to mention?
So first, what's Chopper doing?
Last I remembered, he was still on the performance hall floor because he was still in the baby mode because he overused monster points.
That's right. Is he still handing out the antidote to Queen's freeze poison?
Oh no, he did it a while ago. He just did an antiviral kind of smoke grenade thing.
Ah.
I do love the bit where he just bit slaps Queen right after Queen calls him a Tanuki one too many times, and then everyone's just like, "Oh God, we're so sorry."
Oh God, we've been calling him a Tanuki this entire time.
You see Marco and Drake and everyone just have their hand over their mouth, just like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
The second thing is the fact that CP0 is after Robin.
Yep. I was not expecting that to set up a fight between CP0 and Apu and Drake, which was not what I was expecting, yeah. And I was actually kind of expecting them to wind up fighting Frankie and or Brooke. And or Usopp. Because Brooke hasn't really had a major fight this arc. I don't think he's ever really had a major fight.
I mean, he had that major badass moment back in Whole Cake.
That was awesome. He hasn't had like a significant 1v1 fight where he's won. Robin did, which was amazing. I think Robin's fight versus Black Maria was the best of the Toby Europa fights.
Very possibly. Because the
like,
other because the
was also fun, but
because the other fights were let's see, Jinbei.
Nami and Usopp versus Ulti and Page 1 was the first one.
Yeah. Jinbei was fighting Sasuke?
No, Jinbei fought Who's Who.
Ah, Who's Who.
Who is racist.
And Frankie fought Sasuke, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fought Sasuke.
I knew it was one of those two. I knew it was one. Yeah. To be fair, Sasuke had already been damaged though.
Yeah. I also love the bits with all the beast pirates who turn into dinosaurs, just like the hilariously inaccurate paleontology facts that we get from them, like the helicopter Triceratops that is Sasuke.
Look, Oda clearly sees biology as more of a guideline than a set of laws.
There's the fucking shit with Queen and King too. Like, Queen just eats his neck, head, and tail out of his body and turns into a snake somehow. Which is not how brachiosaurs work. And then there's the shit with King just pulling back his fucking face to launch projectiles.
In fairness, we don't know that these dinosaurs weren't able to do that.
You know Oda is clearly bullshitting, but it is funny.
Yeah.
It is a funny gag.
Oh no, it's hilarious. But we should move on to Oshi no Ko.
Yeah, I'm gonna be kind of brief on this one, just because as much as I really enjoyed it, it's also gone really heavy at parts. One of the main things I do want to say is that it's done a lot of exploration into how acting works, and also just like the general kind of shittiness that is frequent in the entertainment world, as well as just like the nitty gritty of a lot of how production happens and such.
Yeah.
It's a really good series that I feel does a lot of good work in delving into the entertainment industry overall. And I really just love the series for that, as well as just having really good characters. Like, my only serious issue with the series, besides how dark it can get, is Ruby, who is supposedly one of the two main protagonists, kind of gets sidelined quite a bit. She hasn't really been prominent for a good chunk of the story.
Yeah.
She only had one arc where she was the main focus. But yeah, other than that, it's been really good.
Good. Moving on to another one that will be quite brief. Sextuple P, which is a dead man walking.
This one, man.
This is a dead man walking, and I went into this fully knowing that this is going to die, because there's no way a piano themed manga is surviving in Jump. I'm sorry, there's just no way.
I'm not going to blame you for thinking that.
I mean,
not wrong.
The table of contents are currently proving me right, considering Sextuple P has steadily gotten lower and lower on the table of contents and is now in bottom place.
Unsurprising. So I think High School Family should probably be in bottom place.
High School Family should absolutely be in bottom place, but you know, it's up in ninth this week.
Yeah, this is definitely on the editor.
I mean, the worst part is, in a different magazine, it would probably last a lot longer and be a more enjoyable series. Well, not more enjoyable series, be a longer lasting series. So it's really is a shame that it has to be a Jump, and that means it's going to die. How many chapters does it have?
Let's see. Yeah, I think it's like less than a dozen chapters at this point.
Where is it? Where's PPPPP? There. Yeah, it's just hit chapter 12. So I'd say it's got probably about another 8 to 12 weeks in it, I would argue. Because I just don't see this surviving. I just genuinely don't. How long it survives will depend solely on how quickly Jump can find a replacement for it.
Completely fair assessment, honestly.
Which, as I said, it's a shame because I am enjoying it. It's just music manga are always going to struggle a little bit because obviously you can't hear the sound.
That's part of the reason why I haven't really gotten into any of those.
So that is an issue, but yeah, it's a fucking piano. It's a fucking music piano themed manga in Jump. It never stood a chance. Moving on to a series that stood far more of a chance, Spy Family. This is still good. This is still really fucking good. Let's see. Chapter 39, chapter 39 was
Spy Family is just doing really well, though.
No, Spy Family is really good. the first chapter of the new year was focusing on Desmond. Which
Oh
was
yeah,
pretty cool.
that's right. No, what was really good though was the most recent arc with Yor.
Yeah, it's good to get a Yor focused arc and just have poor Lloyd having to run around after Anya.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Anya came in clutch.
Though she did, yes.
But I love that. I love that Yor was the focus, and that
Yeah.
it gave her a lot of character developments.
Mm-hmm.
She's such a good character, and I feel like part of the reason she doesn't get focused on as much is because like her job is a lot harder to make as family friendly as Lloyd's job.
Yeah.
Because like you can do a lot of fun, wacky, lighthearted stuff with spy work.
Well, they did do a lot of
that
fun, wacky stuff with spy work in that they did a whole fucking tennis tournament.
That was funny as hell. I don't care what Fuzzy says. I enjoyed that tournament, even if Nightfall could get a bit irritating at times.
Yeah. I think I'm probably somewhere in the middle. I don't think it was as good as some arcs, but it certainly wasn't bad enough to warrant dropping the series, which is insane.
Yeah, why the fuck would anyone think that dropping the series because of just that one arc is okay?
Don't know. But yeah, we have reached the end of the most recent arc as well.
It wrapped up really well.
It did. Yeah. Oh, it ended on a really heartwarming note with them actually being a family, and it's just really nice. We've got a chapter tomorrow, which I'm looking forward to.
Same. I do want to say, like, at this point, I really hope that Lloyd and Yor actually like become an official couple for real. Because like, I hope it becomes like a full fake to real relationship. You know.
I'm fairly sure it will.
I know, but like, you never know for sure.
It would be a weird like. It would be a weird ending to the manga if it ended with them not together.
That's fair.
Because, what would happen with Anya then?
Right. We can't let that adorable little, precious, very expressionful being suffer.
Like, unless they stay together in a fake relationship until Anya turns 18, like, I don't think they're going to split up.
By that point, they're definitely going to be going out for real because, like, let's be real.
They'll spend 13 years together as husband and wife.
Yeah. Yeah, no. They cannot fake it at that point.
Yeah.
I'd be really surprised if they managed, but I doubt it. They would.
And hopefully, Cloverworks doesn't screw up the coming anime too much.
I mean, to be fair, it is a collaboration, so.
I know. I'm just hoping that Cloverworks doesn't, have too much of a role and fuck things up.
Fair, after what they did with Promised Neverland.
Promised Neverland, Egg, Horimiya.
And Egg, yeah.
Shadow's House, from what I heard.
We're gonna have awards about Wonder Egg when
get fucking ready for that shit. Come the new year, New Year's Day,
first.
isn't it? Yeah, New Year's Day.
We're gonna talk about it a lot on the first. We're gonna be doing the year-end anime stuff on the first, and then the fall wrap-up on the 8th, which I know is kind of wonky, but that's how we've laid it out because some series aren't going to be wrapping up till the 8th. So.
Thank you, 86. Thank you.
Not their fault. It's more just the producers, than the staff.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, moving on to our penultimate series, which is, again, only one that I'm reading. Twin Star Exorcists.
Having fun yet?
You never have fun with Twin Star Exorcists.
Is it more suffering?
It's too dark.
More suffering then?
Pretty much, yeah. So let me try and remember exactly what has happened. So Rokuro and Benio are shaping up to get married. Benio is still in human form, but that only lasts until Rokuro takes in, I think, the spirit of the Great Yang or something like that. Because she's already taken in the spirit of the Great Yin. Unfortunately for them, the spirit of the Great Yang appears, is super fucking strong, and stabs Rokuro.
Oh no.
And he...
That ain't good.
And in doing so, absorbs into him, which, you know... Which, yeah, it's bad for Benio, because then she reveals to the rest of the Exorcist community that she is inhabited by the spirit of the Great Yin. Yin Yang, that's it, right? Yeah.
Yin Yang. It's Yin Yang. No G on the Yin.
Is there no G? Okay. Yeah, it's inhabited by the spirit of the Great Yin, and that makes her part Kagare, which they take very badly, and they arrest her.
Lovely.
Meanwhile, while Rokuro is recovering and unconscious, he ends up in some sort of dreamscape with Yuto, the old antagonist, who was also Benio's brother. And yeah, I think I'm not 100% sure exactly what happened. But basically, Rokuro has a fragment of Yuto in him, and combines with it properly so that he can take on the spirit of the Great Yang and therefore not be taken over by it and die. Which results in, to be fair, probably my favourite double-page spread for a while. Like, look, there is a lot that can be said about Yoshiaki Sukino's plotting and character stuff. What can't be said is that they are not a damn good artist. I mean, fucking look at this. This is beautiful, this double-page spread. So much so that it is now the background on one of my monitors, because genuinely I think it looks so fucking good. And now Rokuro is super fucking strong and is like, y'all better release my fucking wife from prison. I ain't having this shit. Releases her, and yeah, they end the most recent volume by getting married.
Oh, nice.
Which is really nice, yeah. And then we also get some stuff with Mayura trying to find Asuda, and eventually realizing that Shimon is probably right for her.
So beta couple, basically.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, and that was the most recent one. Actually, no. She looked for suitors. They went to God, I just can't remember what. I should remember the name of the place that they go. Like the fucking Margano, that's it. They head to Margano. The three suitors for Mayura are basically shown up to be incredibly weak. And then Shimon arrives and they fight together, and it's, cute beta couple stuff. And they basically skirt around the issue, but like it's pretty clear that they are starting to realize it themselves.
Oh, they have the hots for each other?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not sure if Mayura has wholly realized it yet, but Shimon is certainly aware of his feelings.
Oh no.
Poor Shimon.
Ever shall they do. Oh
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I don't think Rokuro has awakened as the great Yang yet fully, because otherwise I don't think Benio would be able to stick around. But yeah, they're most definitely married now, I think.
That's nice.
Also, they have not managed to consummate yet.
Unsurprising.
Yeah.
They got a cockblocky on that.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, they're basically saying they're basically intending to on their first time conceive the prophesized child, which they don't, which they're not willing to do until they exercise the King of Kegare, which means they're not going to have sex until they exercise the King of Kegare.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that all you wanted to mention then?
Yeah. No, I just like Twin Star Exist is great. I love it. It's a really, really fun series, and has some really cool moments, like this fucking double page spread. Jesus Christ. Moving on to the final series. Again, it's all me. World Trigger.
I thought talking about this one.
So here's the thing. There's not much for me to say because a lot of what I'm going to be talking about, or a lot of what I could talk about, is about to be covered in the. Is it about to be covered? Oh no, it's not. I've actually got quite a bit to talk about. Wow, this arc has been going on for longer than I expected. That's mostly.
Next person needed a hiatus, yeah.
That's mostly because Ashihara's health is not the best. I appreciate that he's still trying, but he does keep taking breaks.
Kind of necessary.
Plus side, the last couple of months we've gotten 2 chapters from him, so hopefully that means he's doing better. But yeah, they are onto the. We've finally finished the Rank Wars arc, and now they are training / qualifying for the away team, which is really interesting because they're split up into. They've been split up into randomized. Well, not even randomized squads, but they selected 12 people to be captains of these squads for the qualification process. Not all of them were actual current captains. For example, Kitazoe of Kageyoda squad was made a captain, as was Ko from Suzanari 1. And there are some captains who, some actual captains who weren't picked as captains for this. Katsuri, Azuma, Ikuma. Ikuma's understandable. How he managed to be a captain, I don't know. That dumbass is just so great, and I love him. But they're now all locked in together, and it has resulted in some hilarious moments because, let's see, the captains were forced to basically explain why they picked the members that they did, and Ninamiya obviously picked Yuzuru solely because Yuzuru has a crush on Chika, and suddenly Ninamiya gets to it, and it's just you can just see Yuzuru behind Chika just going, "No, don't tell him, don't tell it, don't, no, shut up." And he has to come up with some bullshit reason. Another hilarious thing is obviously Hyusei has to hide his horns somehow, and has to whenever he turns his Trion body off, has to hide his horn somehow. So his solution to that is to claim that Canadians, which is what he's masquerading as, could only sleep alone, so he needs needs to sleep alone in the capsule. And that any media that portrays Canadians differently are complete lies. And somehow the rest of his squad buys it. It's just so complete and utter bullshit, but he manages to pull it off, and it's great. Also, in the last... Oh, that's right. God damn it, Ikuma. God damn it. Like, they're asked... for a special assignment, they are asked to give their reason for why they think... the higher-ups have split everyone into different teams. Ikuma's was, this rip-roaring game of musical chairs makes it all feel like a festival. Please make this festival a yearly event. And the reaction is, this isn't a suggestion box. Oh, nice. God. Yeah, and in the most recent chapter, they're basically doing like a game-based simulation. And Mizukami just fucking soloed Osamu's team. Like, genuinely, the other team was like a full... see, how many people are on a team? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Five-person team. And Mizukami was just playing on his own and soloed them. Because he's just that fucking smart, and it's great. The rest of his fucking team don't even know about this exercise. He hasn't told them. He's just doing this on his own. Yeah, I am enjoying myself greatly with World Trigger. It's just such a fun series, and while I am slightly cautious about how the most recent season of the anime is going to end, I'm still looking forward to it. Because I'm worried about the fact that they have to fit, how many chapters is it? 11 chapters into 2 episodes, or potentially 2 episodes. Mal seems pretty certain that this is only a 12-episode season, but I honestly don't think they can finish it in 12 episodes. So I think it might actually be 13. I mean, we'll have to see, but I just genuinely don't understand how they could fit 11 chapters of the last rank war into 2 episodes.
I mean, fitting 11 chapters of anything into 2 episodes is insane.
Yeah, and it's not like, you know, while pretty much all of that 11 chapters is action, World Trigger's action is not quick enough that it can still fit into 2 episodes. But we'll see. We will see. But that is everything.
I do want to do a quick shout out to a couple of series I've read volume only that didn't really have time to cover here.
Mm-hmm.
The first of which is getting an anime adaptation next year. Love After World Domination, which is just such a fun rom-com, especially as like a concept.
Yeah.
But it's basically what if the Red Ranger was dating someone from the evil organization? It's great. I love it. It's really fun.
Yeah.
The other 2 I wanted to mention are Yuri series. One is Superwomen in Love, which is basically like a superhero series about an ex-villainess dating a superhero.
Yeah.
And the other one is Donuts Under the Crescent Moon, which is a lot more grounded, but also really nice. A really good slow burn romance, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those are the ones I want to mention here for now.
Yeah. There's one that I want to mention that's getting a translation. That's right. To Strip the Flesh, which is manga with a trans pro tag. No, trans pro tag.
Oh, nice. That's neat.
It's focused around hunting, so if that's not your thing, then probably do stay away. But I am, I'm willing to give this a chance just on the basis of it having a trans protag, and from what I've seen of what people have said about it, I think it is. I'm fairly sure it's respectfully handled, which is good. Because obviously that's not always a guarantee with Japanese media. I mean, fucking look at Blue Period, for God's sake. Ugh. I wish that treated Yuka with more respect. But that's a discussion for the full anime wrap up. So that is everything. No D&D tomorrow because
I'll be down in a minute.
Well, like, I'm fairly sure. What is it? Ken can't be there until 2 or 3 hours
Kaido
late.
has food poisoning.
Kaido has food poisoning. You have to rush off. I'm fairly sure.
I'm gone later.
Yeah, and I might have had to start late anyway because I'm getting my shower repaired from 12 until 4 or 5. So yeah, so no D&D. It'll probably be me and Fuzzy doing more Neo, honestly. So keep an eye out for that at the usual time for Neo streams, which is obviously about 12 British time. You all Americans can translate that into your own times. I can't be bothered. 3 or 4 PST, if I recall correctly. Tuesday will be either Control, but probably more likely more Neo. Me and Fuzzy are really enjoying playing it, so I imagine we'll continue it. I am going to officially say now we are probably not going to get to Mass Effect 2 until the new year. If nothing else, because I've had to delete the game itself to make space. Because it's fucking huge. But I'm getting a hard drive, an external hard drive for Christmas, so I'll have more space after that. Thursday, hopefully we'll be finishing Case 4 of Ace Attorney, getting on to Case 5. And then Saturday, we will be talking about TVs and movies of 2021. We probably should mention now that we won't be going on I don't think we'll be going on a full break because I know Fuzzy still intends to be streaming, but from probably let me see, probably the 21st until probably about the 30th. It will pretty much just be Fuzzy streaming on his own, so whenever he's available. So we won't be having as many streams during that period, during that Christmas period for those of us who celebrate it. But after that, as we said, in terms of the Paradox Hour, the 1st of January is Anime of 2021, and then the 8th is the fall wrap-up. And we are doing awards for both of those, so keep an eye out. Those will probably be long ones. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time. Good night.